we will liberate her body from a place sad and strange, where the chariots of old went to die. A place I call the graveyard. But we must go in the dead of night, because their guardians are away on their wild hunt.
What's up, guys? It's Screwloose from TwinstiqLP. This is Mad Max. This game came out in 2015, and I just got through playing through Doom 2016, and it held up really well. And I thought, you know, I haven't played Mad Max in a while, and it was really good. I really enjoyed Mad Max, and you know what? So far, it's also holding up very good. This is very early on in the game, and I'm probably only going to do one video of this, again, because it has come out, and it's, you know, it's 4 years old, 5 years old now almost. 4 years. Anyway, doesn't matter. It looks great still. The production value is very high. Everything still feels really refined. It runs wonderfully. Voice actors are good. But this is a WB game, and WB is known for production value. You've seen them with, you know, Shadow of Mordor and the like. That's the same team here. Avalanche Studios, I think, is who put this out, but WB is still a producer, and I think they supplied a lot of the assets. This game is really beautiful. The desert is a really cool place to drive around in out here. If you haven't played Mad Max, you're actually on the bottom of the ocean right now. This is you're out in like in a bay someplace.
She's out of gas.
Combat is really good. This is the ground combat. This actually was first introduced in an old Spider-Man game. I want to say maybe in the 90s or maybe very early 2000s, but this became more famous with the Batman games that came out, the Arkham Knights, Arkham games, where you right and left click to block and attack, and everything feels really fluid and stuff. But that started with a Spider-Man game, and it got a little more refined with Batman and a little more refined with Shadow of Mordor. This game came out, I think, just after Shadow of Mordor. Maybe about a year, I guess. But yeah, everything feels really good. This is we're on an early mission here, obviously very early, to get the first car body, and then after that we're done. I think this is about 14 minutes all in all. And the idea here is that we're picking up fuel to refuel the frame of our first car. This is the car that you build throughout the game. This is your main character, essentially, is your car. Chum Bucket back there is the mechanic, the Blackfinger. He's gonna keep the car repaired and keep you guided, let you know when storms are coming, and he also fires the harpoon during the car combat, which is still the best car combat I've seen. This game did have a really long playtime, and I enjoyed that. I'm happy with the fact that a game can last me 60 or 70 hours. I think this was about 65-ish hours for my first playthrough, I want to say. I don't remember exactly. But that seemed to be really good, because by the time I was done, it was starting to overstay its welcome. There's a lot to do in this. It's a big world, and it's kind of Far Cry-ish in its busy work. There are a lot of camps to go through and like liberate and pick up scrap and you know, fight enemies and clear out the bad guys. Scrotus is the main boss guy in this video. All the camps are his in this area, and he controls all the oil for the gasoline, right? And yeah, it's pretty neat, man. It's pretty neat. My guess would be that the Avalanche or WB, either one of them, may have gotten the rights for this and gotten some sort of I don't know, really minor details, some really vague details on what Mad Max Fury Road would be like. And they tried to make a game on what knowledge they had of what was coming with the movie. I'm sure they didn't get a full script, but you know, they came up with a pretty close bit.
on sight.
And it feels really good. This game is great. It does not feel like a movie title. It doesn't feel like a game that was based on a movie. It feels like a game that is for a game. And that's good. That's what you want. Because most, I mean, let's be honest, like most video game titles don't work if they're, based on movies, because they rush them. It's they let it come out right before, just as the movie does, and they're not good. Anyway, we are driving now slowly to the first mission area, this camp we have to go to and kind of clear out. And the reason I chose to show this video, I realize this isn't the most action-packed thing so far, but you get a little bit of everything. You've got a little bit of foot traffic, you've got a little bit of physical ground combat, there's some car combat towards the end, and driving, there's some day and night action. I don't think there was a sandstorm during this, but I think that came later. I played for a little while after I was done making this. And I probably won't put up another video of this because it did come out 3 or 4 years ago. And most people have seen the Mad Max game, but if you haven't, I highly suggest getting it. It's really good. It's a really, really fun title as you build up the cars, and there are a lot of customization options as you move along. The only problem is that they actually scale, right? So if you're putting a new item on a car, it's going to be a better item. So you really, at some point, your car's just going to look like everyone else's. But it does feel unique the first time you play through it. And you'll have a few choices. You'll see when we get there. There are a few choices of the car body. The first playthrough I did, I think the body's called the Wild Hunt. That's the one I chose because it looks a lot like the original Mad Max ride. There they are hanging up there now. We'll cut some action, it's going to show some of it. But this time I chose a different body just to differentiate my playthrough a little bit.
There! Our prize, right for the taking! Go quickly! The only way to get up there is through those cave tunnels.
Alright, so basically what we got to do is you move through so you can see the bodies of the cars. There's one that looks like a Mustang and like an old Camaro. And there's a classic-esque body up there. It's hard to tell because it is melded together with other cars. And then you've got like a Corvette-ish looking body. None of these are exact, of course, because I don't think they had any licensing for that kind of stuff. But they certainly have their main resemblance is pretty good. You can sort of pick it out.
Sit down this.
You can see a little bit of maybe some Tomb Raider influence here. Well, I mean, probably not actually. There was maybe some Tomb Raider influence, but I think even Shadow of Mordor was very similar with the climbable objects and zip lines and that kind of stuff. And we're still in tutorial mode here, so you're seeing a lot of the tips and stuff pop up. But the tutorials are pretty good, actually. You can go back and look at stuff in case you missed it as you were going along. And I think for maybe some people that didn't like this, it was because the game looks a little drab. It is kind of washed out and brown most of the time. In fact, almost all the time. There are a couple of areas where colors are a little brighter, but I don't think you ever really find any foliage. Now that makes sense because you're in a desert essentially. You're in the bottom of a dried up ocean. Areas all around you with dried up coral and seaweed and that kind of stuff. And it's really fun. The healing mechanic here, as you have probably seen, is the canteen. When you find little water stands, you can fill your canteen up, and that'll slowly fill your health as you drink from it. And as your canteen empties, it's just like a health reservoir. It's kind of nice. And then you'll find dog food cans, even the same labels as what is in the movie, which is pretty great. And this is a point here where I was trying to decide which body I wanted to take. I was just trying to get a good look at it, and I had forgotten that it lets you look at them individually when you choose to continue. But that's the body right there, Furnace. That's the one I went with for this playthrough. That's obviously the Mustang clone, which I think actually looks pretty good too. That's the one I went with originally, and that's the classic one. I couldn't even tell you what that's supposed to be. With this sort of Corvette body, it's like a Stingray without the nose on it or something. Cool cutscenes, good character interactions. You know, they have conversations with each other. And here's another example of that combat. It all feels really good. It's maybe a little easy, I think, in Mad Max. Then again, I really haven't played in a while, so I can't really say. I started this up, and so far it's been easy, you know, but that could just be because I'm just getting started. And this is the escape from the camp as you go along. Progressing the story a little bit here and there. The fire was pretty good for the time. I think it still looks okay, but I think it is like a 2D sprite that sort of follows you. It doesn't parallax properly. But, I mean, ultimately, who cares? It's not really that big a deal. First ride. Yeah, the car combat is coming up. It's really fun. And it actually progresses really well as you go along. The cars get more and more armored. They get tougher to fight back. Some of them have the like thunder sticks. They throw spears at you with explosives and real easy at first because you just blasting fuel tanks and ramming them. But it's really, really fast paced, and then there are like the car caravans. And when you fight those, they don't come back, unfortunately. I wish you could repopulate them again. That's the best parts of this game. Some of them are these big car battles. But yeah, this is pretty much it, guys. I Mad Max, really fun, still really good, still looks really good. Still a lot of exploration, and yeah, I recommend it. But anyway, guys, I've been Screws from TwinstiqLP. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. As always, you guys have a great one. If you haven't picked up Mad Max, check it out.